what I just found under my butt where I sit. It's a hard enough life for me. Well, 44. Hang on, I know I just had my glasses on my own head, but I don't remember where I put them. I know. Oh. Hi, Anita. Perfect timing for you? Good. Right on. How's your day so far? It's early morning for you. It was 4:44 when I started the stream. 42% battery, 16:45, 456. Ooh, there's a 3 because it's August 3rd. Says there's 2 in the chat. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right in front of me. Great so far. Me too. I'm so happy. There's not a parasite that came out of my eye. Yeah. If anybody ever wants to tell somebody it's a parasite in your eye, could you please just tell somebody how to get rid of it? Because just implanting, that's a parasite in your eye. That didn't help me. Because it wasn't a parasite. It was just an ingrown hair. I know. I knew it wasn't a parasite, but still. So if you're going to tell anybody there's a parasite in their body, you must say how to get rid of it. Okay? That's just solid advice. Kindness matters. It should be a rule. Don't use the word parasite unless you know, all of that. I know, I'm just babbling, but trying to make a joke of it. It's funny because last night, it never got worse or anything. And last night I was like looking outside and I'm like, okay, like I'm really ready for like this to be like a movie horror show, because they make horror movies because it's based on truth. So I'm ready for anything to come out of my eyeballs. At one point I was sitting there going, I don't care what you are. If there's an entity in my eyes, just come out. I love you. I'm so happy that you're here and I'll put you outside. You know what I mean? Just because it was like, yeah. Hey, John Binny. Sending love, love, love. How's everything going, John Binny? What time is it for you? If it's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's around 10-ish for you tonight in the evening. Hey, Matrix Man. It's going good. It's going good, Matt. I call you Matt, assuming your name's like Matt or Matthew because you're a Matrix Man, Matt Man. But like I have no clue, so that's just what I call you and everybody else. So that's okay, right? Nice waves last night, eh? We ended up walking the whole pier and just like hanging out for another, I don't know. I didn't check the time. And at one point I says to Lily, I was like, oh man, the sun had just this much, well, to go under the horizon or whatever you call it. And I was like, it's not that I'm bored or just anything, but I was like, the wind is so windy that I'm not chilly yet. And I kind of want to go home before I'm in a ball and cold. So we got into the car and then all of a sudden, like, boom. It like the whole, like, everything was just orange, tangerine, pink everywhere. And I was like, of course, we get in the car and the whole view changes. But sometimes you just gotta know when to hold them, know when to fold them. Everything instinct-wise was saying, go, just go. It's not about, so we did. Things are like creepy around here, so whatever my instinct and Mama Bear says inside of me, it's just like, boom, we're on it, right? So yeah, it was cool. We had a good night. Tangerine Skies, a Beatles song, says Michelle. Mathieu? Are you kidding me? Oh, that's so cool. I don't think there's any other Mathieu's like around, right? That's so French, dude. I knew you had the French ancestry, I guess would be the name, but I didn't realize you had the French name. Thanks for sharing. That's so cool. Je vais parler en français juste parce que c'est Mathieu. Feeling French. Yeah, just Matthew if I'm in trouble, and Matt for short. See, I'm that person that I use full names. Like, especially if somebody's middle name, I really love it, then I use that. So for my daughter is Amy Ode, but if I add her last name, Rechenbach, if I say Amy Ode Rechenbach, if I add her last name, that means like, right? I don't know really what I do for Lily Rose. She doesn't irk me enough to like add names to her. Sounds weird, but she doesn't irk me enough to add more names usually. I'm just gonna set up my screen so I can see you guys properly. Are you here, Trace B? Right on. Little G. Yeah, little G in the house. I'm feeling good, feeling groovy. My eye's not gonna fall out of my head. It was just an ingrown hair. I know. I couldn't see it, right? I couldn't see it. And then today my daughter Amy, she comes up the stairs and she says to me, she's like, how are you? And I'm like, I'm really not sure how I am. Like, I might lose my eye, as a joke. And she looks right at me and she's like, it's an ingrown hair. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And she's like, no. And I was like, okay. So she doctored me. And Amy has watched all of Grey's Anatomy front to back, and she insists she's a doctor. So today I officially labeled her as a doctor. I said, you took care of me? You took care of me? You operated? So you are a doctor in my eyes, right? Because I don't believe in like the whole health system. So if my daughter's my own like on-call doctor, I'm good. Yeah, Anita, exactly. No parasites. That's not funny for me at all. I've heard so many stories of people, and I'm not gonna like perpetuate them, but you know what I mean? So, yeah. 9:47. Right on, John Binney. It is Matt. Michelle says, I asked him yesterday. Of course, we'd kind of ask in the same timeline, eh? You can be sure if Michelle says something that it's synced to me in some way within a certain amount of time. Sometimes exactly at the same time. We're so synced. It's crazy. Whoa, 40 minutes? That's a long vlog for you, John Binney. Did you post it on Instagram or YouTube? I didn't see that pass by yet. John says, I just recorded a 40-minute vlog on speaking my truth, past lives, gifts, ghosts, UFO, spirit guide. Every shade of what I thought years ago was crazy, now my truth. That's beautiful. And I love the way that if you come from that background of not, right, of thinking that was crazy, that you choose to share. Because that's the thing, is that, like for myself, I've always had these things inside of me, so it's different. But it's important, especially right now, John, because there's so many people flipping their inner scripts. And so watching someone like me who's always had the life of believing certain things, speaking openly or not openly, depending on which timeline of my life, it's not as credible as someone coming from a background of, the not believing it. It's uploading right now. It's super slow. Good. Well, not good that it's slow, but it'll come up just when it needs to. Like, you know what I mean? When I see it, John, if you don't mind, I think you won't, but I'm going to do one of my link in the description box. This one's important, and I'll even try to segue like eloquently of, how important it is, and how somebody who, because that's the thing, is people who don't believe in certain things will still pop into my streams or pop into my videos, but this could be like a silver platter for some people who actually need it right now. Thank you. Michelle says, my brother is Luc, French like you, Matt. My grandfather was Lucien, Lucien, but I myself called him Luc for my grandchildren. For my children, I always had them call Grandpapa Luc because I didn't want them calling them like the same thing I called him because that was weird to me. So, I called him Grandpapa, and so they would call him Grandpapa Luc. Thanks for mentioning, brother, because it makes me think of my grandpa. Ignited Beats Anita, you seem so upbeat this morning. Love you, G. It's been a beautiful 24 hours. Yesterday, Lily Rose and I spent the afternoon at a rock beach on one end of, well, not one end, but one part here in our area of Nipissing, because Nipissing is so big. It encompasses like many townships and many ley lines, right? Nipissing is the third largest lake in Ontario, like considered, like, it's not a great lake, but that's why so many people, when I make vids, think it's an ocean because of the vastness of it, right? So I started the day with like a lot of tears and just like yesterday, and then it was like, okay, let's get out of Dodge and do something. So we spent hours at the rock beach. The seagull spirit was really present, and the seagull just telling me, enough, suck it up, buttercup, you need to look at things from a different perspective. And so I opened my heart up to different things that I hadn't allowed myself to ask in my reality. So there's like an anticipation of co-creation flowing through me that I haven't had in a long time. And so I'm just going to leave it at that for now because I haven't manifested the co-creative project yet, but you all will be aware of it once it happens. So the looking at things from a different perspective as well is like, okay, every time I catch my breath, something else comes and slams me, and it's like, just be ready. Next time I catch my breath, something's gonna come. And so even today, that same loop of, everything's like, wee, and then boom, but then boom, when the thing came in, it was like prepared for it, right? Kind of like, just, yeah, be prepared. And so my reaction, the way that I was feeling in the last couple weeks, my reaction is like toned down. Like I said, a lot of grounding, just sitting in the rocks, and a lot of hands-on with nature yesterday, and then spending the whole evening at the beach. So Lily Rose has allotted me, and I mean it, allotted me an hour to an hour and a half, right, to live stream now. A kind of pause in our day right now, and then we're heading off back to whichever beach that she decides to choose. I think she's choosing the same one because I don't know, that's just whatever. Yeah, Michelle calls me Michelle Lee, Canum Free. I love that. Lee is a big sync for me. John says my full name is Jonathan Stewart Benny. Aw, Stuart reminds me of Stuart Little, the mouse. I love Stuart Little. Yes, Michelle, yay for eyeballs not falling from our heads. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Yeah, I love my eyeballs too, John Binney. They're the best balls I have, right? Being a feminine, I consider my eyeballs my best balls ever. Some people who get distracted by cleavage and stuff could think my other balls are more interesting and look down instead of up, straighten my eyes, but these are my best balls. Best balls. I feel like I'm playing golf. Is that what you call when you play like kind of partner and you use the best ball? Oh, now I want to go play golf. Who wants to go play golf? Let's go play golf. Oh, could you imagine us playing golf right now? Oh my God. John, Michelle, Trace B, Anita, Matt, Mathieu. Let's go play golf. That would be awesome. Oh, you got the link ahead of it uploading? Okay, save it. I'm just gonna save it okay. We're processing this video. Check back later. I didn't know you could do that, John. I'm gonna name it John Speaks and leave it at that. Thank you, John. I appreciate that. I didn't know you could upload with you know, anticipation to just share already. That's so cool. Yeah, the link will work in around an hour. Thanks, Anita. The video at the beach was so serene. It was so nice, and you know what? The energies are so freaking like, wow, that sharing is caring. And it, for myself, I know that right now especially, and I'm not the only one, not dipping into many things, but the things that I trust to just automatically press on, like, you know, without having to put shields up and wonder like what's gonna come at me from somebody's mouth, is the nature and, you know, sky vids. So, and I say sky vids, you know, depending on the perspective, but yeah, so especially the water and the wind was so, just the whitecaps on the lake last night, they were so intriguing that, you know what I mean? And I did it on purpose. Like, obviously I was talking to Lily Rose, but I have no clue what you guys heard or not. When I was speaking with that lady, I was surprised you guys could hear, because at one point Trace B said, you know, she heard the name. I saw you write it down. And yeah. So just kind of keep the view more. Yeah, John, Ontario is massive. I want to visit one day. Yeah, you've been to at least Toronto, right, John? I seem to remember you about a year, maybe a year and a half ago, before COVID and everything, that you were in Toronto, I think, right? Michelle says, I often wake up with a message in my head. Me too. And today's message was, remember to recognize that magic is everywhere. I don't remember the wording, but my message was, hold on tight, the fourth is coming. Hold on tight, the fourth is coming. Tomorrow's the 4th. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but within, when I went on Instagram, I forget the name of the is it a channel? Oh man, nobody calls me and then somebody calls me now. Oh, should I answer? I don't want to answer. Should I answer? I don't want to answer. I don't feel like it. But within that, you know how we put our stories up on top on Instagram? I shared it, and someone specifically with the Schumann resonance was saying like, hold on, the 4th is coming, or I forget if the word was the same, but I was like, whoa, that's the message I'm getting as well. Yeah, Ontario is massive. It's huge. It's huge, and it has its own different, like, it's different from, you know, what we call Southern Ontario, which is Toronto and like Kitchener, Waterloo and all that. Then, like, that's why I specify that I'm from Northeast Ontario. There's a difference. They're just, it's different. Yeah. Michelle says, John, Ontario is beautiful. I lived there for 37 years. Exactly, dude. We stomped the same grounds. Like, for real. And that's what's like, boom. Boom. Right on, Michelle. You love golf too, Trace B? I haven't been golfing in so long, but I do love it. And 4 goes with the golf. I never thought of that. Good sync, Michelle. I wouldn't have caught that. 4. John says, I'm really bad at golf, but it's super fun. Yeah, I never really consider if I'm good or bad at a sport. I either just play it or I don't. When I had my restaurant, I had my own bowling league, right? My team, my people that played bowling with my t-shirts. And to be honest, they preferred that I didn't come play, because the dummy, if somebody was missing on a team, there was a dummy score that would add up to 120 or something. Like the minimum score they could give, the dummy score. I don't know if they do that everywhere. I only played, you know, bowling like that in Quebec, but yeah, so I would get a score under the dummy. So they would prefer that I stay at the restaurant and take care of the restaurant instead of showing up to play bowling. But they really liked it when I, you know, the team was full and then I was like, whoop, whoop, to go cheerlead at them. that was okay. But I got told once by like the captain of my bowling league, he's like, you know, it's actually better when you don't show up for us. The dummy gives us more points than you do. And I was like, I know. You have pink clubs? Nice, Trees B. It's been a while. Let's go. Rawr. Oh, I would love that. It's coming. John. Michelle says, John, yes, we are the magic. Immersed and enmeshed with the magic. Michelle, I want to call you JSB. Sync. The song today is Skies of Our Dreams. Yeah, Trace B, that lady was great. I was trying not to film, but the reason I stopped, well, I had stopped on the way, but on the way back, I specifically stopped just to tell her, like, shout out, mama, because she was letting her daughter swim. Her partner with the two other kids were doing something on the beach. He was taking care of the two, and she was doing, like, the watching of the one daughter in the water. And like I said, like, water babies need water, and when they have waves, they thrive, right? Children that are mermaid-esque and love the water are not afraid of the waves. They feel like for this child, it was like being at the ocean yesterday, right? And that's what I said, like thanks for letting her do that, because that's what keeps our children, like, you know, brave. Because when we're afraid, you know, they become afraid. And at one point, I don't know how much you could hear of the conversation, that's why I'm kind of rehashing it, but at one point I said, besides, your instinct knows that night where you want to go to the beach and you decide, nope, we're not going, or that night when you say all of a sudden, time to get out of the water, we're leaving, your instinct knows as a mom. The more you allow her to have her instinct of the water, the more your instinct is also okay, right? Because you're not always saying no, no, no. You harness your actual mother instinct of allowing. You know, it's like children who grow up to be like snowboarders, skateboarders, and all these things. Unless you let your child like crash and bang and, you know, do the stuff, they can't grow up to be that. Right? You can't just like bubble wrap a child and then when they are 10, 12, 15 years old, they don't just run out and start to do things because they've been bubble wrapped for so long that, you know, like most adults right now these days are so afraid of everything because the dumbing down of the programming of what, you know, what was allowed when they were children. Hey, John Ross. Happy to listen for a few minutes. Thanks, dude. Are you in between things? You're getting the notifications still? Yeah, 2 Johns, double John, double Jons in the chat. My triple John is Revelator from Michigan, right? I've talked about that before. I got 3 Johns, Jon, and Revelator is the other one. I don't know if we've ever had in the chat all 3 at the same time. I think we have. Michelle, what do you mean you don't I'll show you. I'll do a vid and I'll film how to get to them and what I do, and then you'll understand them, Michelle. Like, not right away, but tonight, later, or tomorrow morning, I'll make a vid for you to understand it. And one of the things, too, I want to show you is on Skype, there's a spot. When you're on Skype, let's go on Skype. Let's do a tutorial. When you're on Skype, and see how this is you, Michelle Lee, Can Free? I press on you above here, right? And then this appears. So there's all these different things. But down here is a chat gallery. And when you press on that chat gallery, on one side is every video we've ever linked each other shows up. Yeah, doesn't matter unless you wipe your, your memory of something or delete it. Every video we've ever shared is on one side, and then on the other side, how do I get to it? Of course, because I want to do a tutorial. Why isn't it working? On the other side is supposed to be access to all the photos we've ever sent each other. Oh, duh. See how here it says media, blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. So media would be all the pictures we've ever sent each other. We have our own album, Michelle. and anybody else who's ever been on Skype with me or each other, right? So every single picture, every single thing we've ever sent each other is in the gallery in the back. It took me a long time to know that. I don't even remember now how I found it, if somebody showed me or if I found it myself, but that's so cool, because if you've never deleted your conversation with somebody, it doesn't matter how long, it's all there. It's all there. I've been meaning to show you that. So like those things like that, like let's say the drawing that I sent you like 3 months ago that, you know, you saved, but you can't remember where it is in your photos. Well, then boom, it's there. Trace B, I tried to get Skype and it installs and then it clicks off. Hi Orbicron, how's it going? Yeah, Trace B, me not good at bowling either. I mean, I kind of like bowling like either Fred Flintstone and like, you know, making kind of the show of it, or like a kid, legs spread, ball just roll. Yes. I want to see you be brave. Yeah, exactly, Michelle. Like Pink Floyd, Mama's gonna put all her fears into you. If you think about it now, 3/4 of the stuff you're afraid of have nothing to do with anything you're really scared of. Your family ain't put it inside of you. There's only two fears we're born with: the fear of loud noises and the fear of falling down. Those are the only 2 fears that humans are born with. And by fear, I don't mean like, oh, I'm afraid to fall, or oh, I'm afraid of noise. What I mean by that is your body will naturally react to a loud noise, and your body will naturally try to protect itself when it's going to fall. So every single other thing, it doesn't matter what it is. If you're scared of, you know, anything, spiders, being raped, being abused, being this, being that, being this, anything else we're afraid of is part of the programs that were instilled into us. So for myself, that's why sometimes, especially in this last 6 months, I can get really like, what the fuck, guys? Because, you know, I'm all in, let's find tribe, let's make soul family, let's make community. But within the last year, the fears that have been brought into Lily Rose from the fucking chaos of the outside world, and then us being alone in it, right? So you have one mama bear and one child, and the shit that we've seen and the shit that's happened in the last years, I never even had it happen in my life. So Lily Rose is 9 years old, shooting near our freaking window in our house, and I'm 49 and I never had that happen, right? So that thing of mama's, you know, I raised a daughter who had zero like of anything, but now feels that she has anxiety, and she does, because of the last 1.5 years sustained like alone and going through all the tests and trials and not being supported and all of that, right? So it's messed up. Yeah, John Binney says Revel, let's call him in. Dude, my first song today was the Love Cats. Michelle says, now I've got The Cure on my mind. The Love Cats was my first song of the day today. Good, I miss him. John says, I will call him telepathically. Trace B says, Michelle, I was thinking of a Cure t-shirt. Right on, Michelle. Yeah, everything's there since day one. Michelle says, I never delete anything with my friends. I as well, but with my phone issues that I had since spring, since winter, I've reset my phone twice, which is funny because it doesn't matter how many devices I've ever had in my life, which is not many compared to other people, because I only started using cell phones, especially smartphones, not ever so long ago. I've never needed to reset a device ever. And so, you know, and the only time I ever delete anything, Michelle, is when I've been imprinted in a way that hurts so much that I just don't even want to see certain things ever again. I don't want them to pop back up. Which sucks sometimes because within an iPhone, you know, you have things saved in so many fucking places that, you know, you delete delete, you reset your phone, but then all of a sudden the one thing that you wished you'd never see again is popping up in a memory. Like, it's like, thanks iPhone, I fucking thanks. But yeah, Trace B says, I've learned how to fall. Yeah, me too. Flat on my face sometimes. That's beautiful. Happy birthday to your son, John. John says, Genevieve, my son is 12 today and he had a 24-hour party with 4 of his friends and they're having such fun after 1.5 years of lockdown. Oh, dude, you make me cry. Yeah, that 24-hour party, eh? Just come on over, let's hang out, and boom. That's awesome. Me happy for him. Yeah. That's so cool. Yeah, Anita says, me too. I just delete the things that I just never want to look at again. The best thing to do. Yeah, at one point, I had like just a special, winter and such things, and that I realized that because I spent so much time interacting that half my phone was imprinted with certain things. So it was like, just plus that it was bugging, like nothing would load anymore, and so it was just much easier to just delete it all, and that's it. But like, I mean, I have emails still in my stuff from when I opened my email. I have messages, like my other I have 2 other devices, I've only had 2 other smartphones, another iPhone and then an LG. Actually 3, because I was gifted another one. So I've had 3 other smartphones, and if I plug those in and they work, everything that anyone ever wrote me, unless it was so negative imprinting, just get rid of it, right? And one of the things that I realized too is, at one point, like I've been stalked before and I've been harassed, so I would keep proof in case I needed it, and then it was like, no, because I'm never gonna need it, and no, I'm not gonna keep keeping this stuff, because one of the things, if you're being stalked or harassed and you actually try to get the police involved, they can't do anything unless somebody shows up at your door. So, but they tell you to keep all the proof. So I was doing what they said, and it was like, but why, right? Like, fuck, if something ever happens later, I gotta prove that, like, show all that. It's taking up room in my stuff. Like, makes no sense. Michelle says, happy birthday to your mini-me, John. Yeah, John says, thank you. They are all so happy. We're just letting them do what they want. Exactly. Like, seriously, at this point, especially when, it's been such a weird year, it's just about, depending on the age, it's about farts and giggles and eating candy and, like, jumping around and playing, right? So, I wrote that to somebody on Instagram. She had a post that says, do you ever notice that when you spend so much time, you spend so much money to do things for kids, and then, they cry like most of the way through, and and I was like, yeah, I learned a long time ago that the less you spend, the more that kids actually remember. One of Amy's and Sam's biggest memories from childhood is us being somewhere. We were the 3 of us camped out in the same bedroom. We couldn't fall asleep, and so what they remember the most was a fart fest. You know what I mean? There was farts and giggles and all of that, and that's what they remember, one of the biggest memories they have of their childhood. So, you know what I mean? When your 2 kids are like 24 and 22 and 21, excuse me, and they're bringing up childhood memories, and that's like in their other biggest memories from, I swear they're not stopping today. It's kind of the reason I wanted to live stream instead of go out. Instinct saying, just stay here. Forget what I was going to say. My children as well, now they're grown, one of their biggest memories as well is of being allowed to cook, and the freedom in the kitchen, the knowing that they were, like, I mean, They never did the silly stuff of complete, like, wreck the kitchen food fight type of thing. But they knew that even if they made a mess and didn't clean it up perfectly, that my goal was always that they would feel safe, comfortable with all the tools, right? Like same with Lily Rose right now. Her ability to just transform food herself, that pride she has in herself of, you know, being allowed, is important to me, right? One of the things is like you know, children grow up and then they don't know how to cook because they didn't have that you know, that seed that was allowed to grow. And that's important to me, as well as I don't make Lily Rose do chores per se, but at one point she was saying, like, I said to her, would you wash the toilet? And she was like, no. And I was like, why not? And then I was like, well, you don't have to right now, but I'm telling you right now, if you don't learn how to do it now, later in your life, it's going to be harder for you anyways, because you use this. It's our most important room in a way. If we didn't have that, you know what I mean? Like I said, you're not really grossed out by farts and poo, so what's the difference with the toilet? And I swear, she does a great job. She started doing it right after. She does a great job in the bathroom. You know what I mean? So I think it's important. Children that are raised to like not even realize that somebody actually washes a toilet are shocked when, you know, they go into their own apartment and then, you know, after it gets dirty and it doesn't like magically fucking clean itself, right? And that thing of having mothers and fathers who are constantly angry because they're cleaning all the time, but not just saying, I need help. Could you do this? Right? Like the other day I don't have Tupperware per se. I have whatever recycled containers that I keep and, you know, whatever I got. That's it. So the other day I looked in, I couldn't really see through the chaos, and I says to Lily, I was like, you're a good organizer. You want to come organize this? If you see lids that don't have matching bottoms, like boom, recycling. If you notice there's too many empty water bottles, boom, recycling. Like, let's get rid of it. I like to keep the empty, I don't buy water often, so when I do, I keep it just in case to freeze it, to make ice pack kind of thing, but I only need a certain amount, right? So yeah, the kids to help. Yeah, Arbacron, I wanted to get a phone with lots of memory so I never had to erase anything. Yeah. Exactly, Trace, probably. Yes. Maybe that's how I can't get anything to install. No space. Yes. Most devices will tell me that there's no space, but definitely. As well, this winter I was having stuff where I answered emails. Like, me knows me did. But they weren't even sending out because my phone was so full that they weren't sending. So it would look like it sent, but a lot of things mess up when there's no space. Yeah, good. John Binny says, yeah, Jen. Gee, same as me. I feel 12 again. Good. Yeah, Michelle. It's going really fast. See, they're not stopping. This is one of the most longest. This has to be like something more, they don't use sirens around here unless they need them, right? And especially, well, the last 3-4 months, it's the level of sirens is through the roof. And again, I specify we don't live in an area or at all. It's not about scare tactics like some people in the United States say. They use their sirens for scare tactics. It's not like that around here. They're using them because they need to. And it's been right now since this morning. I have no words for how much. So I'm glad that I'm feeling like this, because otherwise it's just, it's too much. It's so fucking loud. Chaos is as above, so below, and it's definitely reflected in my community. Michelle says, Nick just messaged us and masks is back in full effect for his university now. Yes. On Instagram, it's popping up that New York City, people will have to be vaccinated to go to gyms indoor restaurants, and a few like basically everything that people want to go to in New York City, you have to show proof of vaccination. So things are really, crunching up. The us and them is getting to be to the point of, you've had the extra sirens today too, Anita, so loud. Yeah. When I was at the store today, we went to do groceries, and I don't usually double stores, but the products that I needed, like, because I wanted cheese and certain things, and so I did 2 stores, which is a lot for me. And the first grocery store was so calm, and it had good music. Like, at one point, Dance Monkey was on, and so, Dance Monkey, I was dancing. It was awesome. And then when we went to the second store, it was a little bit more, but when we left that store, I saw the ambulance. The ambulance had the lights on, and it was across the street coming out of a certain place. And I should have braced myself. Like, of course, there's an ambulance that has the lights on, and it needs to get back on the road. But I didn't think about it. And he or she, like the driver, just popped off the whoop, like that, like just the one whoop. Because again, they don't use them unless they need to here, so they don't like woo, woo, woo. But he did a woo, or she, to stop who was coming. And I just jumped out of my freaking skin, and I, because it was right, like across the street from me. And that's loud for me. For myself as well, I don't personally know any like emergency personnel and all that, but I do know from the people that I've spoken to in the community who have reflections of, brothers, mothers, fathers, husbands, wives, and everything, all search and rescue, police, firefighters, and now we're with the forest fires as well, are just like, right? We're going on a year past sustained fucking chaos. One of the hardest things that they're dealing with is just the emotions of it all. The last time I did get to speak to a police officer, it's like he said, like, it's the domestic disputes, that the things he'd seen already in his career, right? I wasn't talking to a rookie. The things he'd seen in his career, and like he said, like, it's like when you're a seasoned officer in the northeast of Ontario, right? I'm not talking anywhere else. Northeast Ontario. And you only see those really dramatic disputes only a few times a year or a month, right? Depending on the timelines of the stress levels, Christmas and such things. But it was sustained, like, all the time, right? It's just so. Prayers up. Yeah, 911, Archangel Michael. Yeah, John said, when I was a kid, my friend's dad took us to a small river, and we just played by the riverside for 4 hours, and it was the best party ever. Yeah, I totally resonate with that, meaning that it's not about paying or having a bunch of stuff that's different, allowing children to go wild and nature-esque, whether it be a river, a lake, or the ocean, or it's worth more than gold. I remember when we were on the East Coast in New Brunswick, we were together with, my ex's family. So there was, the cousins and then our children and stuff like that. And we paid for an activity, 2 activities. Like, and we paid a lot of money for these 2 activities. Like, one of them was like worth fucking like 2 car payments. You know what I mean? To go whale watching for that many people was worth 2 car payments, like, for real. And the kids bitched and whined the whole fucking time that we were on the ship. The whole fucking time. You know what I mean? And when we went to it was an aquarium type of place, all they fucking wanted was to go to the shops and buy souvenirs. That's it. They just wanted to go to buy souvenirs. And I remember looking at my ex and saying, I don't care how many other fucking times we come to New Brunswick, I'm never paying for this shit again. I don't care if it's a fucking tradition. You came here 5 years ago with your partner, the kids' moms, and then you guys went and whale watching, and it went well. What good for you? Or some people don't even remember when the shit hits the fan, and that kids cried the whole time. They want to glorify it. And that's the thing. Is every time we just go to the beach, the kids would be like, psh, And we would have to say, okay, like last call, we gotta go, we gotta go, we gotta go. Whereas the activities that we paid like a lot of money for, the kids were just like, blah, like there was always something. And like Lily Rose and I, we've never done anything like water parks and such things, right? And I figure that one time, that one day where we decide, oh, wow, there's a water park, let's go to it, we're going to have the most magical time, because we never had the little times of just doing all the stuff. When I had Samuel, where I used to live, what was it called? It's not open anymore, but it was a wildlife sanctuary in Earlton, Ontario, with animals from all over the world, like for real, that had been being rehabilitated, like, you know, and stuff. Anyways, whatever. But I was so proud to bring Sammy there. He was 2.5, you know, he was so cute, and let's go see some goats and some chickens and some, like, oh, there's a lion, and just all kinds of different stuff. And, you know, he didn't enjoy it. He didn't. But then when we went for a normal walk and saw like everything, it was just, he was just so happy. So okay. Yes, Michelle, prayers out for when I hear sirens. Yes, Lily Rosa as well. She's always like that. Yesterday we were in the car and she was like, prayers up. That's beautiful, John. Thank you. Sirens for those that need them. May your timeline never need them. Orbicron, water parks or shoreline? My favorite getaway, really. Yeah. I've not been to a water park in a very long time, but it is that one thing that, and I wouldn't go to a water park in midsummer, you know, I would go like, you know, beginning, mid-end of season, or like in passing, because it's like a day that's, you know, not too hot, not too cold, and whoop, you drive by and there's hardly anybody there. That would be my, I'm not good with crowds and big lineups, and it's just not something that I'll force myself to ever do again. You've been seeing the 12 for a long time too, Trace B. When I see 12, it's 1 and 2 make 3, the Trinity. And I need to teach my son more household things now. Yeah, it is important. And, you know, allowing for a freedom of childhood is beautiful, but then the bitch slap is, like, I had a friend who had one son and he was grown and gone, and then, you know, had another. So when I met them in their timeline, he was 11. And so we were doing a barbecue and she was cutting a steak. I was like, what are you doing? And she's like, well, I'm cutting a steak. And I was like, why? Well, he doesn't know how. I was like, what? You know what I mean? Like, okay. Like, but then she's like, well, you know, he's my baby. I want to baby him. And I was like, I guess, but what does your baby do if he comes with me to a barbecue? I'm supposed to cut his steak. He's 12. And then she kind of like grasped that babying a boy. And then I said, does he do chores? And she had him doing chores, but things that, you know, like his normal stuff, his bedroom and certain things. And then I looked at her, I was like, do you realize, like, the one thing that you say about your man is that he does nothing. You get home from work, exhausted from 10, 12, 8 hours, depending on the day, and he's done nothing. But you're raising your baby to be that man. And she's like, what? And I was like, you're raising your son to be a baby. He's 11. And if he doesn't realize that how to wash a toilet, who's he going to think that needs to wash his toilet? His roommate? His girlfriend? If he's by himself, are you going to go to his house and watch his toilet? And that realization that we want to baby our children and keep them young, but when is the cutoff? Because if you all of a sudden expecting, oh, now you're 15 and you got to do this, that's really not the best age to introduce stuff sometimes. And it's so different for everyone as well, because some kids, especially Anita, when we're alone with our kids, we have a dynamic that can be so different as well. So that we're the mom doing certain chores, but the help that they do that we don't even, you know, that we realize, you know what I mean, is it's just different. Our ways, it's so different. So Michelle says, I wish I had a spa day. I never had one yet. I've never done that either in my life either, Michelle. I'd rather have a just go hang out wherever I want day than spa day. I'm not really interested in people like touching me and like wanting to pamper me and stuff. That's not self-care for me. Good, Trace B. Trace says, I've been lazy on chores these days. I admit it. Good. Good. Yeah, John Binney. Our kids just started to clean the toilets. It's a great thing. Teaching us to be responsible for our waste. Yeah, and like the honor for that one room and doing it properly and taking care of it. It's important. I always say, don't be in a bad mood and go wash your toilet, because if you do, then that energy's coming back up your butt. If you're mad and cleaning the toilet because you have to, and then mad at your, you know, if you got men in your house and you're mad because the boys peed everywhere and da-da-da, like what the fuck? Do you know what energy that is? If the boys peed everywhere, then hey boys, that yellow doesn't belong there. Figure it out. You know what I mean? The yellow don't belong. The toilet is white and so is the floor. Figure it out. Right? There should be no yellow when you're done. That's the only training they need. There should be no yellow by the time you're done. Those hairs are not decorative. Those are not decorative hairs. That's not potpourri. That's get rid of the hairs, right? It's not decorative. I love saying decorative like that. Hey, road trip Eddie. Boom. Michelle says, Anita, I never showed Nick much, and he's excelling on his own. That's awesome, Michelle. And it depends, like I said, on the timelines that we live, because trying to show someone and then having interactions that are negative versus like, you're going to have to do this someday. Of course I'll do it now, but you understand that. Like, it's whole different worlds, right? It is. Barbacron, my dog howls at the sirens. Yeah. Trace B, yeah, see, I don't come, it's not like that here. It's not like that here. Police don't even, like, do, like, if they cross each other, like, they don't fuck around with shit here. Like, maybe they do a little bit for fun, right? Sometimes, but not really. Trace says around here they just use it to pass cars, so I never know, but I pray anyway. Yeah, it's not, I understand, that's different. John says, my phone has over 400 gigabytes to keep a few weeks of songs. I spend a fortune keeping hundreds of my music videos on backup. At some point I'll have to let that go and just remember the best one. Well, not really. Well, I guess, yeah. Yeah. Oh, Anita, that's not happening to me. That's so yucky. Sirens keep going off and stopping right where I'm driving. Yeah. You're kind of bringing the energy forth as you pass through, eh? For myself and Lily Rose, even Lily Rose noticed the neighborhoods that we have passed through within a certain time that we don't usually, within a certain time, that's where there's an incident. What does an incident mean? We don't actually know. They don't always tell us, but an incident means that they've blocked off a certain part of town. So the incident that was here was a shooting. The incident that was, you know, a little bit farther was an actual murder. So when there's an incident, we have passed through that neighborhood within a certain time frame, like really close to it. So we're like, but just before. And like I say, it's like weird, random, we never go there, we did, and then all of a sudden, you know, we hear of the incident. Orbicron, good point. More sirens than ever, a sign of how manipulated health has become, but also a sign of how people, first of all, you know, just, yeah. That's the thing though, is that ascension, like an ascension symptom, a heart opening is the same feeling as a heart attack. So while somebody's having a heart opening, their mind and their who they are is kind of actually choosing which one, right? My soul path is meant to go to the hospital, or my soul path is meant to whoosh, and it's all good. You know, which timeline has the soul agreed to? Because we've all agreed to different things on our soul journeys. Yeah, I think you wrote it the other day, but I'm still going to repeat it. Trace B says, I think I already wrote it, but I got my grandson a newborn Pink Floyd shirt last week. Floyd is everywhere for me. Yeah, Floyd is a big sync for me. Not necessarily just Pink, but Floyd is a big sync for me as well. Hi, Amaze Taro. How you doing, sweetie? Are you still here? I didn't see you until now. It was 9 minutes ago you popped in. How's the energy for you in Saskatchewan, sweetie? Happy Saskatchewan Day yesterday. Boom. Thanks for mentioning it, John. I'm actually going to screenshot that. Focusing on the on this part instead of, you know, the outside. John says, a theme for me these last couple of weeks has been remembering the gifts from previous lives, like the healing, moving stones with sounds, communication through standing stones, and telekinesis. Thank you. And specifically yesterday when we were at the beach, the stones, the rocks, Nipissing has got rocks like they rock. Nipissing rocks rock. I'll go get you 2 of them that I grabbed. It might thunder and lightning. Mama Bear might have made the wrong choice to not go. Well, I wouldn't have gone out right away anyways. Instinct was saying stay at home, especially with the sirens, how loud they were. The beach is just exactly where those sirens were heading. So I'm glad I stayed here. So I don't know if I have the right angle of him, but this is my dude. I found myself a little dragon yesterday. I don't know if you can see him. Are you shaped? Can't see it as good on the camera, but just a dragon head. I'm trying to get the angle, but I don't think it'll show. But in real life it looks like a dragon head. But this is one of my favorites. Yesterday pretty much like a lot of heartish shaped rocks, like the way that the lines, you can feel it. Like if this fell, the chances of this like falling off like whoosh, like a slab, because you see here the way that it did, that little slab. Lily found a bunch of amazing things as well. Boom. John says, Genevieve, my new guide is called Trinity Sync. She's the main subject of my video. Wow. Dude, that's important. Trinity, that's important. I name a lot of my streams Trinity. I know we're the 3rd today, so I just put the 3. No wonder you're making the vid today too, eh, John? The 3rd. 3rd, 8, 3 of the Lion's Gate. Beautiful. Thanks for sharing, John. Orbicron. I recently saw a picture of a child levitating. It brought back thoughts of floating in a sea of energy. Boom. That's a huge sync as well. I named the stream MoJo RiZinG. MoJo RiZinG. I am the Lizard King. I can do anything. Where James Douglas Morrison spoke of levitation a lot. It was considered a scam and it was considered just a prop back in the day. But, you know, Jimmy spoke of that a lot. And I don't have many channels and they don't pop up for me, right? That's the funny thing. I have these people who practice telekinesis, wind, bending the wind and such things. And, it's very obvious. Like, I'm a wind waker. I know I can do it. I remember seeing Lucy the first person I ever saw doing it. And it was like, I know there's other people like me, but I never seen one before, right? So she was doing a video and she was doing breath work, and then like boom, you could see the wind and the grass was moving right in tandem with her breath. And then she was accelerating her breath, and then you could see the grass, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like this. So everything we've ever been told is a myth and, not possible, is the exact things that are so possible that we've been blocked from them for forever, right? Boom, 1744. Speaking of levitation and those such things at 1744. Road trip, says Michelle. What was Trinity? Was her name Hi-Ho Kermit the Frog a long time ago? I don't know. Trace B says yes. They call me Mellow Yellow. Sync with Kermit the Frog, says John Binney. Says Kermit is the frog dancing on my IG story today. You guys are talking about a specific channel. You can share her if you want. I'm not quite sure who that is. John says, also my spirit guide, who looks like a frogman known Kinterman, had been at the forefront of my meditations this week. He represents my bravery, inner child, and fun. Nice. Thanks for sharing that, John. Yeah, a lot of frog syncs for me this week as well. John Minnie says, Michelle, I wrote a song for a new movie last month. It's a rom-com with a Kermit the Frog style love song. Trace B. Kermit is from Mississippi? Really? I never knew that. Hey, Emoji King, how's it going? No way, Michelle, says Trace and John. I still have the Muppets Take Manhattan movie poster in my hope chest. Dude, I got rid of the posters long ago. But my daughter, the one thing that she asked for ever is it's a Jim Morrison laminate. Like how they used to do, like it's on wood or whatever. It's not a poster, but it's in the wood. I don't know what you call it. Anyways, is my James Douglas Morrison. It says his year of birth to his year of death, and she's kept it. I got that for my 16th birthday from my best friend, and I gave it to her in 2019 or 2018, and she has it up in her apartment. Yeah, the heart rock. Lots of heart rocks yesterday. John Binney says, Genevieve, yes. Trinity, I asked her why she is here, and she's all about helping us bring out the gifts back online. Well, I'm really excited to listen to that vid, John. That'll be, if you don't hear me or see me showing any feedback or putting that out, it's because I forgot. So tell me in my Instagram. No joke. Like, John, if you don't see me or hear me talk about it or see the link up in the video, because I want to watch it so I can put forth, just say, like, did you forget, right? Because I don't think I will, because I've talked about it enough. I've saved it. I've double saved it. But sometimes those things that will help me unlock certain things, right, get kind of forgotten and something else comes to distract. So it's not, it's not pushing our stuff. It's just kind of reminding, hey, you were interested in that. Did you look at it, right? Oh, thank you, Michelle. Trinity's channel. Let me just speak. gonna put it in watch later. I've never seen this channel that I can think of. I am finding some channels in the last weeks and months that, you know, are coming up new for me, which is awesome. Yeah, Emoji King. We are all superheroes, but we gotta act like it and embody it, right? You can't just call yourself a god and a goddess and a superhero without embodying it, because that's, you know, it just doesn't mean anything. I was listening to Fleur Brun this morning, and that's what she said. And I've been saying this for weeks now. There's a difference between the glow and the fire in people's eyes and people just saying, I'm this, I'm that, I'm love, I'm light, and I'm all like, you know, shits and giggles and unicorns and sparkles. It's important, especially now, because there's so much false light. The dark is masquerading as the light, and it's so pretty, and it has so many subscribers, and it's like there's just so much eloquence coming out, right? So sometimes, like the small channels that just, you know, is just flowing is way safer than where we're being implanted with certain things right now. Right? The implants are coming from people who say they are of the light. So it's getting darker and darker. Thor is in the air.
What is it? What are you doing?
I shut the door. I brought the chair in. It might rain or thunder. Doesn't matter if it does. We could go out for a drive anyway, sweetie, and just kind of enjoy the view of the thunder like we did that other time. We'll see. Is that you, Jansu? How's everything going, sweetie? I'm not sure if you feel like talking about it. Give me a thumbs up if I can ask for that extra energy. Loves you, sweetie. Oh, John, that's beautiful. I love connecting with you all so much, and I'm so humble and so grateful to connect with you all, and I want to savor this moment forever. I love the way you write that, because that's how I feel as well, right? That feeling of gratitude and just humbled by it, that anyone so chooses to just flock and gather together. Thanks, John. Okay. A urinary tract, UTI is urinary tract infection. They say that Kalen had a UTI, and that's why he had the seizure. So does that mean that if they regulate what's going on, that it was just like a passing thing? Because I don't know. I don't want to say anything of what you know what I mean? I'm just so shocked. Thanks for letting me know, though, Jansu. That meant a lot. And I've randomly, may I show his picture? If that's okay? Just show his picture, because I've been randomly going to look at his little, just to bring energy. You hope so, but you don't feel that that's it? This is Jansu's little dude, Kaylin. Okay, sending energy. Let me pull a card, Jansu. One thing for sure, honey, is the energies are so intense. Jansu, I get texts or like things from people who, you know what I mean? We've done this for a long time. You know what I mean? We've known We've known what was going to be coming, but we never expected it so much. I've got people that are like, you know, like, like, what the fuck? And we're, you know, we're grown and big and have been preparing for this since childhood. So the crystal children and the energy, all that it takes is, you know, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna lie. I'm shocked that the collective is choosing such disgusting fucking like things. And that's just it. You know, I'm shocked at people's families, at the energy, like, just everywhere. The choices, like, of the chaos. It's people making this happen. It doesn't matter if there's, like, all those things, like, cabal and all that shit. It doesn't matter. Individuals have a choice, and they're not, you know what I mean? They're not standing up for the highest timelines. Like, fuck's sake. We got New York City. People are going to have to show that they're vaccinated to go to a restaurant. Are people going to finally, like, stand up and say, like, okay, well, we're not doing it. We're not going to go to restaurants. So if people don't go to restaurants, guess what restaurant owners will do? They will fucking gather together and fucking figure it out. You know what I mean? Like, enough. Enough just listening and just doing. Like, let's stand up. This is our world. And that's the thing. Here in Canada, they never shut down the fucking liquor stores. All these lockdowns. Single moms, parents, caregivers around, like, all of Ontario. We weren't even allowed to buy clothes for our children. It wasn't considered a fucking essential service for months. Clothes for our kids was not essential, guys. But alcohol is being sold every fucking day. Take that alcohol away for a week, and you'll see a bunch of sheep fucking, like, all of a sudden be waking up. Because they fucking won't be allowed to be drunk half the time and not fucking seeing what's going on. But then you got me as a mom saying to somebody like, holy fuck, can't buy kids for my clothes. And I'm a fucking weirdo? I'm a fucking weirdo because it's not an essential service to buy clothes. You know what I mean? Take away the things that people like, that are the ones that are not fucking seeing what's going on. Rip that veil of alcohol, fucking with that access to alcohol, and you'll see a bunch of people like fucking stand up for their fucking rights, man. Like, holy fuck. Like, how's that even possible that buying alcohol stayed an essential service, but buying clothes, underwear, no fucking access to underwear, pajamas, pants, shoes, winter clothes, spring clothes, bathing suits, we weren't able to buy those. But you can walk into a store and buy alcohol. Every single fucking lockdown, no matter what. You could even have it delivered. So some people had it so goddamn cush, they didn't even have to get out of their house. They had their fucking whiskey brought to the fucking door and their beer. Well, shouldn't we be like getting our clothes brought to the door? We need that. Makes no fucking sense. And when that makes no sense, let's crank me up, Calm down. This is all for a greater plan, right? The more insane that it gets, the more that... La 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 la. Ooh, I saw an... Yeah, you write 6-1 Impala. I saw an SS Monte Carlo yesterday. It was black. Black and chrome, baby. She was pretty. Hey, Crunchy Bee, how's it going? You come in just in time to hear Mama Bird cranked up a little bit, eh? How's it going, eh? I love you, Jansu. Hey, Annie D. Yeah. And that's just it. The strongest of us are being like so many things. It's just like love you. Crunchy Bee, I didn't think a UTI could cause a seizure. He knows, Jansu. He's only 11 years old. Yeah. Jansu, this is so that you harness your best timelines. That you harness your best timelines. You will know what to do. Good, Crunchy Beef. Yeah, that's crazy. Some people would die from withdrawal, though, if alcohol was taken away. Well, shit, a couple people dying from withdrawal, they'll still call it a COVID death. Did you know that if somebody was in the hospital or a hospice, literally, if somebody was in a hospital or hospice dying of cancer and they only had 2 weeks to live, if they contracted COVID, it was considered a COVID death. So so many numbers of COVID are such a lie because somebody already had a disease that was going to take them away, and COVID helped them exit a little faster. So the truth in plain sight is like, anyways, I'm just gonna, this is the card, Jansu, the cat spirit, 1 and 3. 1 and 3 is 4. Claim your independence. I'm not going to go into the book, Jansu, because it triggers me these days. I don't find that the books resonate with these timelines. But what I am going to say is the orange cat, the redhead cat, the red ginger cat, right? Hanamori's ginger. He pulls on the ginger. The cat with the wings. The cat with the necklace. The cat with that little decorative, like the third eye right there. I don't know if Kaylin like pulls like on that cat energy. We are in Leo season. Yeah, Emoji King, it is a good idea. Ban alcohol. Alcohol, seriously. It would change a lot, that's for sure. Hi, Modib. How are you doing? Hey, Little Wing 6 was 9. Your keyboard's acting up. Don't give up. It's okay. We love spell check errors. It's all good, Little Wing. Sometimes in the spell check errors are super syncs. All right, even where you wrote Vinny there, Vinny, that's a sync for me. Exactly, Annie D. There's about 80% false positive on the test too. The scam, the racket, the fraud. Yeah, exactly. If people statistically wanted to really know like how many actual suicides was there this year as compared to another year, how, that's more of an elevated death around the world right now than actual COVID, for real. Sadly enough, right? Besides, fully vaccinated people are dying of COVID, and just that, and it's known, but it doesn't count to people, right? It doesn't count. How does that make sense? You got a vaccine that's never been tested. We already have been, in the last 15 years, people speaking up against vaccines die mysteriously in accidents or like suicides. How many doctors who were speaking up against vaccines, all of a sudden they killed themselves and their whole family? Yeah, right. How can, statistically speaking, so many doctors who were focused on one thing of getting the truth out, they died. They died. Yeah, right. You know what I mean? Like, anyways. He loves you. I don't usually get so cranked, but, and that's the thing. Guess what? I have no judgment of the V. Go get it if that's what you feel. It's the forcing everyone or anyone to go get it in order to get a job or to do anything for their family. That's the horrifying thing right now, right? Free will choice of what we put into our bodies. If you don't get a vaccine, you can't go to the restaurant. Okay. What you don't get the vaccine, you don't go overseas, and you don't go across the borders. Well, okay. You know, like, but then because just adding more and more and more. Anyways, I think this one's really important. First of all, the into the blue, the whale energy, the sea energy, and the trust the great mystery. At this point, there is a greater plan. Love has already won. Love has already won. Love has already won. Trust. I was going to say trace B. Trust the great mystery. Yes, Annie D. Some people are slowly waking up, and in some cases quickly. Yeah. And that's the thing, is that people love to bring in chaos. So what it takes is either, you know, a death or something really serious for someone else to wake up to their things, right? But here's the thing. Those of us who are middle road, we have no judgment if people want to choose to get the jab. It's your choice. But why do people who choose to get something don't want other people to have a choice? And, you know, it's like, yeah, it's hostage and blackmail situations. It is. It's, anyways, not a wing. I'm going to go love and I'm going to go. I'll love and leave you all. Gotta go Skywatch. Boom. Kaylin's cat is named Ben. Ben is a super sync for me. Ben is, hey Ben, Crunchy Bee. Boom. That's his cat. See how he even has something around his neck, and that thing that I said, like around his neck. Are they both looking the same way? Yeah, they're both looking the same way. If that's not a super positive sign, Jansu, to trust the great mystery, that all is well. This happened for a reason. At this point as well, first of all children are born with the sight. And at 11 years old, what happens, even I'm noticing it with Lily in the last 2 years, you know, it's closed. It's not as open. So the seizure could be helping to propel him into staying and keeping his sight, right? So what do I mean by that? Instead of allowing the veil to close, his body didn't manufacture, but his body concocted this seizure in order to keep, you know, his third eye open, or to just like really open it more. So really, instead of being afraid of the fact it was a seizure, I know for myself, I know a seizure is a whole other level, but when I get woozy and I go to pass out, especially if I've never really let myself pass out, because I've never been in an opportunity where I would be safe to do so. But in between, when I'm really woozy and I know like I'm going to pass out, and then I'm saying like, no, I can't allow myself this. I'm alone with Lily Rose, the situation, like, no, I'm saying no. But that in between, I'm getting visions and I'm getting stuff. This is where I get downloads that I can't, you know, that are so big. They're so big. So one of the things as well that's coming through is follow the children, they lead the way. A lot of our children are either meant to be in the school system to educate themselves on something specific, or to not be in the school system because they are part of the way showers that already have the idea for an invention, whether it be technology, artist-based, or anything that is going to help pivot the world into the new reality. So what does that mean? Our biggest co-creators that have the actual technology that we will and could be using very fast is going to come from our children. So we're not to wait till our children graduate from high school and university necessarily. Some children at 10, 11, 12 years old, and even younger, right? I don't have any specific videos. I've never built playlists, but I'm asking now that it'll come to me, and then I'll send you the articles or the videos or the things. There are very young children who have created in their own communities in different countries systems to help with such things as recycling, garbage, childcare. You know, one child's idea that is actually listened to, instead of saying like, oh, when you're older we'll listen to you, is the person that actually changed things in their community, and some with a ripple effect elsewhere. I'll use the example of Autumn Peltier here in Canada. Autumn Peltier is our official water keeper in Canada, and right now I think she's 16 or 17 years old, but she started speaking at the UN, right? The United Nations, and across Canada and across the United States and in other places in the world. She started speaking about the waters and protecting the waters at such a young age, you know, that some adults haven't grown into that eloquence and that ability to look directly at the Prime Minister of Canada and say, we need your help. You need to listen to us, Justin Trudeau, right? So the way showers that are to lead the way, it's big, and it's really big when we're the mothers and caregivers of these children, right? Protect the child. Yeah?
Are you almost done?
Yep. I'm gonna wrap it up, maybe 5 or 10 minutes. I had promised Lily Rose that if she let me do a live stream, an in between, that, you know, when she said I was done, that it was time to go. So I'm just gonna catch up with the comments. It's uploaded. All right, thanks, John. Anybody want to grab that vid? Go ahead now. I've already got it in my playlist. I named the playlist John Speaks, if anybody wants to just go grab it in the playlist later. Yeah, Crunchy B, me remembers your name. Boom, Little Wing, good point. Good point. It's also going to mess up with health insurance the same way as fake AIDS did. Okay, I'm going to pull a goddess card and maybe one other little thing. I'm not sure. Anybody have any comments, vids they want to share? Share your channel. Crunchy B, if ever you want to share your channel, get your numbers up. There's a couple good people in here that would love your music. Just saying. Just saying. For me, it's a lot harder to go into my things and try to find a specific channel. So please shout yourself out, dude. Your music is totally worth it. We need the stuff that's not embedded and encrypted with imprinted bullshit. And your music is a part of that, Crunchy B. No joke. It's important. Sometimes y'all that make music, you feel like, you know, why would I share this? Nobody needs it. But guess what? We need that music even more because it's not embedded with the MK programming and the bullshit and all of that, right? Seriously. Seriously. If I hadn't had John Binney's music and other people like John Ross, Revelator, you know, Revelator's music is like, can get pretty raunchy and there's stuff, but guess what? Mama Bear will shake her fucking ass to Revelator, but she don't shake her ass to the fucking bullshit music, right? It's a whole other level when a brother can make a mother just fucking wanna like, wow, love it. I really do. It's important. You still want those vibrations. We just don't want them with embedded stuff. Right? Didn't mean to ramble on and rant, but guess what? I'm allowed. Because in the greater good I do trust the great mystery. But the great mystery has become like past circus like, right? I remember watching the Hunger Games and thinking, you know, this is the reflection of our world, but how we've stepped even more into that. Boom. 1 and 8 is Gula. G-U-L-A. Just those 4 letters. G-U-L-A. L-A woman. Boom. Healing. No matter how I'm ranted about everything I said, I do have a certain inner peace of it, but I'm not going to stay quiet and pretend it's not happening, right? And I am middle road. Go ahead. Bring in the timeline with all the stuff you want. Don't force it on a whole society. That's different. Oh, that's beautiful, Emoji King. I don't have a third eye. I have a first eye. That makes way more sense for sure, dude. I completely resonate with that. If you hear me say it, yeah. The way we speak, seeing it as the first actually helps us to see it as the first. Excuse me. Yes. Excuse me. See how the colors too, they're not quite as orangey, but they do have the golden hue, both of them, Jansu. Maybe look up Gula for yourself to see if she has any specific messages for you and your family, Jansu. And anyone else who resonates with it, but specifically Jansu, just because of the seizure and the needing the healing today. Oh, nice. You guys do you want to share it, Michelle? 1111 code just went live, so that's cool. I'm done. Tag team and go into 1111 code, Dean's live streams. That's awesome. I'm going to pull one more. That's it. I'm done after. And you know when I'm done, I'm done. I don't do a long goodbye. One more. Why? Because Jansu sent me this deck. So I'm going to pull one last card before I'm done. It's 6:16 Eastern time, 1816. So I'm gonna pull the live stream from exactly another 2 minutes. 18:18 is when I'm gonna knock off. Thanks, Michelle. I don't know if I'll get to it right away, but say hello for me if you do go in. I'm gonna see with Lily Rose what we're gonna do. Because even if there's a thunderstorm in the air, let's chase the thunderstorm, baby. Thunder. Feel the thunder. All right. Thanks for being here, Crunchy Bee. Temple of Dreams, Sacred Dreams, Prophecy, and Dream Journeys. That's important. 3 and 6, 369. Jansu, look to your dreams for the answers as well. I really love the imagery of this. The hanging beds, the hammock. I really need that in my life. Oh my gosh. Temple of Dreams. I'm trying to see what else is in here. Oh, that little, see, like as if there's a picnic with a little pedestal of a table. I'm speaking a lot about picnics and stuff. A little tea party in the corner. Shout out Simon. Little tea party. 3 and 6, 369, Temple of Dreams, Sacred Dreams, Prophecies, Dream Journeys. Speaking of dreams, I specifically dreamed of myself with Michelle Lee Cannon Free for like hours and hours on end, and with Elf herself. I know there's more people, but those are the only 2 that came out of the dream space for me to remember. Love you guys. Have a beautiful night.